I'm done. I'm not done collecting, and I'm not going to stop collecting, but I'm done hunting. I'm disappointed, I'm disheartened, and I'm aggravated and annoyed. So check Pop Finder. I see that Breaker has shown in stock at the Target closest to me, which is around a 30-minute drive each way. So I'm looking at an hour and a half out of my day to run down, run back. Pop Finder also showed that 2 had sold earlier in the day. They initially showed 12 in stock. They showed 10 in stock by the time I was on my way down. I get down there. I have my family with me, and I go in. Nothing in the toy department. So I walk over to electronics, and they're talking about someone calling, asking about Breaker. My intention was to purchase one Breaker figure for myself to open for a video for all of you, and I was going to throw them back in the box, stick them on my shelf with the rest of my collection. I don't want multiples. You guys know that I sell toys. I don't really sell exclusives or anything like that. I'm not buying up a bunch of them to resell. I might pick up an extra one for a friend if someone is asking me for one or something like that, but I'm not a big reseller of exclusives unless I can find them online at a decent price and not empty a shelf. So I tell the manager standing there, I was like, "Hey man, I'm looking for the same thing." And I show him the thing on Pop Finder, and he's like, "We're not putting them out. We're not selling them. We're not selling any of these until the reset." And he starts to seem agitated, which of course makes me get a little agitated too. I was like, "Bullshit, dude, you sold 2 of them this morning." I said, "This started out at 12. Now it's at 10. I watched them decline in stock." And, he gets very defensive and tells me that I'm being aggressive, and this is why we can't put them out, because you people come in here all the time. You're aggressive to us, blah, blah, blah. I have to put the safety of my employees and the safety of my other customers first. And this guy's getting like super mad. It's very difficult in some situations for me as an individual to not seem intimidating or aggressive. I'm 6'5" tall. I'm a big, bearded, bald, tattooed, pierced giant of a man. I'm 400 pounds. I'm a huge guy. Some of you all have seen pictures of me on Facebook next to some of my other friends, and I'm a big guy. And for a lot of people, especially people that are of a smaller stature, for some reason they have this intimidation factor with bigger people. This is also something that I deal with in my regular job, where I've had to learn techniques to seem not as intimidating as I may come across with some things. And these techniques are things that I work on with other people in the company that I work for, who also face the same issues. We work with people who, some of them they're intimidated by people who are bigger than them or whatever. Especially if you're in any kind of a position of authority. It's difficult. It's something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration unless they're faced with that situation. Take into consideration if they're not faced with that situation. So I ended up talking to the guy. I'm like, "Look," I said, "I apologize if I am coming across as being aggressive." I said, "Yes, I'm very annoyed at the fact that everything seems to differ by store, by employee, by location." I said, "You sold 2 of them this morning, and now you're telling me that you can't sell any until the reset next week." And he was very understanding. He calmed down. We diffused the situation together, and then we had a conversation. And that conversation's what really disheartened me and has led me to the decision to remove myself from the equation. I'm no longer going to hunt toys. I'm not going to check Pop Finder or anything like that. If I can pre-order stuff online, fantastic. If I just happen to be in a store and check the toy department or whatever, and there's something there that I want, then yeah, I'll pick it up then. I'm not going to go stand in line with everybody. As much fun as some of this has been, it's been equally as irritating and aggravating. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I can't. And the things that he was telling me this morning, he said, you know, you guys come in here and you get so angry and aggressive with my employees and whatnot. He said, I have to put the safety of my employees and the safety of my customers first. We will release them when the reset happens the week of October 3rd, and they will be handed out. We will give everyone a chance to get them. Then I recognized this manager as someone that I had talked to before, and I even said that to him. I said, you know what, I recognize you. I said, you and I have had discussions before. And the guy's always been very professional, very polite, and I try to be the same way whenever I'm talking to employees at a store. Target, Walmart, wherever. If I ask someone for help, I try to be as respectful as I possibly can, because I know that other people are not. And apparently it's gotten much worse. And as far as what he was talking about with the safety of his employees and the safety of his customers, he told me about a situation at another Target close by where a man was robbed at gunpoint outside the store over baseball cards, over collectible baseball cards. And, you know, these stores, they've limited what people can buy. They've, at this point, they've pretty much all but stopped carrying some of these cards because of situations that have happened. At another store, there was a physical fight between people in line to get their one item or whatever, their limit. And I'm not sure if I'd mentioned this before or not, but the last time that I was at this Target for a completely unrelated reason. Like I literally just stopped in to pick up something I needed. And I noticed a bunch of people standing outside before they opened. And there was like 35 people out there. And when I came out, a guy stopped me in the parking lot as I was walking out the door, trying to get me to go back in and buy a box of cards for him. He's like, man, I'll give you $20 if you'll go in. I was like, dude, $20 ain't worth my time. It's like, I got places I got to be. And I continued to walk. And what I didn't realize is that how big of a problem this has become, not only for other customers, but for retailers as well. And I also wonder, like, how have we gotten to the point that you're gonna rob somebody at gunpoint over a box of cards? Over a box of fucking cards? I'm by no means interested in having any kind of an altercation like that with anybody. But if someone tries to rob me at gunpoint over a collectible item, over something as stupid as a toy or a box of cards that I have in my cart, one of us will die that day. And I'm perfectly okay with whichever it ends up being. One of us will die that day. And I assure you, it probably won't be me. I cannot imagine walking out of a store and having someone confront me in that manner over a box of cards. Now, one of the other people standing there as the manager and I were having this discussion was the collectible card vendor. She was actually putting the anti-theft devices on Magic the Gathering cards. And she was talking about how, now I'm talking about like booster packs and small starter decks, commander decks and whatnot. She said these had just released today and that people steal them all the time. And she said that one of the reasons why, you know, they're doing this is because they have such a problem with collectors and customers coming in. and they get aggressively violent with some of the people who work at Target and other stores. As a matter of fact, there was another instance where employees were threatened over, I don't think it was a GI Joe figure. It was some kind of figure, or it was some cards or something. But he was talking about how the manager was talking to me about how one of the employees at this particular store had been let go. They fired him because he was trying to hold stuff back and not allow customers to get it. This guy, I've dealt with him before. He is extremely strict as far as how these things are handled. He wants them handled 100% according to their policy. If you deviate from the policy, they don't need you. And one of the problems that we had with these stores was an employee of a store in another state. Even he was tracking inventory to find out what was being delivered where and when. He was going around to those stores wearing his Target uniform so that no one thought anything about it whenever they saw him behind the counter or in the back room. Like, well, it's just somebody that works here. Well, he was going and rummaging through their repack boxes and through their pallets of stock in the back room. And he was literally taking stuff out of there, walking out the door with it, not even paying for it. This guy was throwing stuff up on eBay before he'd even get out of the parking lot. But they caught him, and he was also terminated. So I know that the Target that's closest to me, I know that they can't always deal with these issues, but they do at least make an effort to do so. So yeah, basically getting that information and the conversation that I had with the manager, I can't do it anymore. I won't do it anymore. I will not engage in the hunting. I will not allow myself to be lumped into the category of people who harass the employees, who get aggressive with the employees and whatnot. And yeah, I admit I was pretty annoyed with the fact that the items had been sold, but yet they're telling me we can't sell these to you. Seeing all day on Facebook that, people have been buying them at other stores. A buddy of mine bought one at a store about 45 minutes to an hour away from me. As a matter of fact, he bought two. So, there's no limitation as to what they could buy. He said they had a whole end cap of them. Different stores, different policies. I am not spending the time, the fuel cost and whatnot to go travel around store to store just to get something that I've already got in order. My only thought behind it was go ahead and get one, then cancel my pre-orders. I'll wait for my stuff to ship. I'm not going to engage in this this hunt that used to be kind of fun. Knowing what I found out today, I'm just not going to bother with it. The toxicity that has enveloped the collecting world, even though it's not action figures, it's cards, it's still collectible items. To know that someone near me was literally robbed at gunpoint over a box of fucking cards, it's extremely disheartening. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the collector community for allowing this to happen. It's stuff that we all engage in. It's stuff that we watch happen. And, you can shout scalper, you can shout whatever. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that the definition of a scalper is not necessarily what a lot of people think it is. But it's a flipper, someone who's buying something to flip. And that was one of the things that the vendor had told me, was that, she said that there's people, which I know this, and so do others who are involved in collecting, that there are people who are making a living by purchasing cards and things like that, and flipping them, throwing them up for sale. You know, they come in, they buy something for 20, 30 bucks, and they turn around, they put it on eBay or Facebook or what Marketplace or whatever for double, triple, 5 times that. PS5s, PlayStation 5s are a prime example. But, you know, I just, not only do I not want to be associated with that, I don't want to take a chance of trying to buy something for my collection or whatever and take a chance of either being killed in the parking lot or killing somebody. I don't want that on my conscience. You know, and I don't want to leave my family without me. It's just not worth it to me anymore. So, not trying to be a downer with this video or anything. I hope that it brings a little bit of insight to other people. Be respectful. If you're going to hunt toys, if you're going to go around to Targets and whatnot, believe me, I understand the disappointment of going into other stores and being told, well, we can't sell this to you or whatever. Just, you know, and for me, it works out best to just buy online. But if you're going to do that, be respectful. These people deal with a lot of customers coming in all the time, being very disrespectful to them, and it gives a black eye to the collector community in general. You know, these people think that we are all assholes. Oh, you're here for this. God, I don't want to deal with these people again. You know, I know that's the attitude they have. I know that's the sentiment they have toward us. We need to change that, if at all possible. I'm not telling you to not hunt toys. Just be respectful of other people. Be respectful of the people working in the stores, stocking the shelves, regardless of what you think they may be doing. Be respectful of other collectors. You know, it's just not, it's not what it used to be. And it's become unenjoyable for me to look for this stuff in person, especially after the conversation and the information that I had today. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to be a downer with this video or anything. I will be continuing to collect toys. I will be continuing to buy and sell toys, make video reviews, discussions, and whatnot. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos. Check the description. I have links posted for where you can buy Action Media reviews, merchandise, t-shirts, and other things to help support the channel and help me grow. I also have links to Facebook groups for really good, really great communities that you can join and interact with other collectors. But until then, Yo Joe.